of cultural education. That is our first chapter in the book. So how many of you have gone through the textbook? The PDF file which I had shared with you? Almost all. Please raise your hands. How many of you have gone through? Okay. Some students. Kavya Shri, Kavya, Harsh has gone through, Pradeep, Surya, Chidvila. Okay, great. Okay, please put down your hands. So if you see the first page, very first page of the book, so there is a code given, CUL101 cultural education, right? So the code of your subject is CUL101, or it is also called as 19 CUL101. So why it is 19? So initially, before a few years, it was 15 CUL101. So this is the revised syllabus now. Therefore, it is 19 CUL101. So while writing in your answer sheets or somewhere else, wherever you will have to write the code of your subject, you write what? 19 CUL101. Okay. And then we were talking about the importance of education. And there are two types of education known as education for livelihood and education for life. This we were discussing this point. Now, taking this word itself, the word education itself, let us go a little bit back, like a few years back, and know about a history regarding this word education. Now, there are certain misconceptions and different commotions around us saying that before British came to India, the education system in India was not that good. Have you heard about such
Yes, ma'am.
miscommunications done?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, do you believe in that? Is it true that
No,
before
ma'am.
system?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you say that before British came, the education system in India was very good. Rather,
Yes, ma'am.
after the arrival
Ma'am,
of Britishers,
Ma'am, both have its own pros and cons. Like, it's correct to some extent, but it also had a lot of yeah, I would say.
okay, Kirtana says that yeah. So a coin has two sides. In the similar way, this particular context also has two sides. Yeah. Anybody else would like to comment over this? What is your opinion?
Yes,
Ma'am,
yes, ma'am. I think that's true because before Britishers came in,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't have an international forum. As in, we only had our regional languages, and even certain stuff couldn't cross the south or couldn't come down from the north due to the language barrier. Maybe if they're doing something in front of you, like an art form, you can learn to an extent,
Mm-hmm.
but language was really a barrier
Okay.
initially.
Okay. So maybe we are talking about the medieval period, isn't it? So it
Yes, ma'am.
depends upon the period
Yes,
which
yes, ma'am.
we have taken. Okay, we will just take Anirudh's point and keep it on hold. Whether we are able to find counterpoints to this, we will see. Okay. Anybody else would like to comment?
ma'am, um, the education system was not that good earlier, but there were not many people who are getting education. I
Oh,
mean, they are not educated.
okay.
The
Okay.
literacy
Ma'am,
rate was
actually,
very low.
Shailaja says so. Literacy rate was
Yes,
low, she says. Okay. This is the thing which you are speaking just before British came, right?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
There was like only the higher caste people have to get education, and the lower caste people cannot study. There
Okay.
was this barrier between the caste system.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let us consider this point and keep it on hold, and we will see whether we get any counterpoints to this. Yes. Anyone else?
yeah, the same thing as she said. There was no equality, as in, there was a lot of caste system and a lot of differences that divided people, and not everybody were given the opportunity to study and progress. So that was one thing. Yeah, that.
Yeah. Okay, Kirtana, noted. Anybody else would like to comment?
Yes, ma'am, it is true, ma'am. It is also. She said what is correct, ma'am.
Okay, Revant also says that yes, the education system was not that good and everybody didn't have an access to the education. Okay, so now I would like to ask you a question. Have you heard about these terms known as Nalanda University, Takshashila University,
Yes,
Vikrampur,
ma'am.
Yes,
Ujjain?
ma'am. One of the oldest
Yes, ma'am.
universities.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So these are one of the oldest universities of India. And if you just carefully open the books and read carefully about these universities, then you will find that there was a mad rush in those days for gaining education from these universities of India, especially Nalanda and Takshashila. So, if you have, so nowadays, if you see Kota in Rajasthan, you must be aware of it. To gain the education from Kota, all the engineers, how madly they rush to Kota. You must have seen that web series also,
Kota
Kota
Factory.
Factory, right? Kota Factory. Jitu
Ma'am.
Bhaiya, everybody likes him,
Ma'am.
isn't it? Yeah. So, in the same manner, these universities were like the Oxford universities. I'm just comparing them to Oxford university because we know that today. And there was no guarantee that the students would get admitted to these universities because there were very difficult exams being conducted, the entrance exams being conducted here, and the admission tests were taken and only 20% could get admission over here and others were eliminated. And to get admitted to these universities like Nalanda and Takshashila, the students had to learn the language which was the medium of instruction here, that is Sanskrit language. So there are records being said that um, before coming to India, they used to go to different places like Indonesia and several other nations to learn the language first, Sanskrit language first, and then they used to come to India. And the dangerous journeys that they used to take to just reach India would just make us amazed. Like they took boats, they walked, they deteriorated their health, but only one goal they had, that they wanted to learn from these great universities like Nalanda and Takshashila. So people came from different nations, including China, Malaysia, Korea, Japan, etc. So not just these, there were several other universities like Vikram Shala was there. Kantaluj Shala is one of the universities from southern India. Kantaluj Shala is from Kerala. Then in Kashmir, we had an university known as Sharda Peeth. In Varanasi, we had Vikrampur. Okay, so several topics were being taught here, including Vedas, including the Vedangas, the logic, grammar, mathematics, medicine, zoology. Then we have astrology, Natya Shastra, all the art forms, music, economics, all the health sciences, about diplomacy, Vastu Shastra, and what not. There was no topic which was not covered here. And uh, because of this wide range of subjects, what used to happen, a student had to learn under a guru first, had to gain the expertise there, and they used to shift to another guru for another branch as such. And these professors and students used to travel everywhere, like all over the country, to gain the knowledge. And gurus would tell them to travel. So this was one of the kind of practical learning that they used to have. So we have a saying in Kannada, those who understand Kannada might know this. Desha suttodu, kosha odudu. What is meant by that? Desha Suttodu, Kosha Ododu. The Kannadigas here. No one? You can just give a rough meaning. I don't want the correct translation. Whatever you understand.
Ma'am, it means that by traveling,
Uh-huh.
and you get to meet a lot of people as you travel, and you get to learn and see a lot of cultural difference as well, and that will help you learn life.
Yeah, a little bit nearer to the translation you are correct. So the essence of this sentence is that if you want to get the perfect knowledge, if you want to be a perfectionist or you want to get better, so you have to travel. Desha Suttadu. You have to travel everywhere. One thing. And you have to read books. Read more and more books. Kosha is the encyclopedia, we can call it as. So you have to read what? More and more books. So these two things can help you to develop yourself, to have growth in yourself. Okay. So in this way, there used to be theory part also and the practical part also in those days. And how used to be the knowledge propagation? The knowledge propagation used to happen through the source of debates, the constant debates that they used to have. So let me show you one picture here. I'll just share my screen and you can tell me what is happening in that picture. Can you see it?
Ma'am, debate.
Yes, ma'am, we are able to see your screen, ma'am.
Yeah. Who all are there in this picture? If you know the story.
Ma'am, Adi Shankaracharya.
Adi
Very-
Shankaracharya.
Very good. So here in this picture we have Adi Shankaracharya and Mandana Mishra, who were the great scholars of those days. And the lady, the prominent lady sitting in between is Mandana Mishra's wife, who was the judge of their debate. Her name was, just a second, it just went off from my mind. I think Sharada or something like. I'll just clarify it and tell you later on. But this lady
Ma'am,
was
Sringeri.
yes.
Sringeri Sarada Peetham.
That Sharada Peetham is there. But this lady was a well-learned personality of those days. That's why Shankaracharya, when wanted to have a debate with Mandana Mishra, both of them decided mutually that they would make this lady as the judge for their debate. So you see, we just now said that there was casteism, there was no access for education for women. You must have not said this, but it was there in our mind, right? So this is not true. You can see a lady is sitting in between these great scholars to give the judgment about the debate. And how the knowledge propagation used to happen. It was from the constant debates, and not just one person used to say the things and other used to agree with that. Rather, all would sit and watch their debate, and if they have any doubts in their mind, they could challenge whatever the person is saying. So such a fair mean was there to propagate the knowledge that they had in those days. Okay, so I'll just unshare the screen. And again, talking about these things. So this gave you a brief idea about how the education system was there in our ancient India. So the thing that we said just now, that before British came, the education was not proper, or it was not at a higher level, is not acceptable. This fact is not acceptable because it's not true. So let me tell you one incident in the history. Gandhiji, our Rashtrapita, we call him, right? So Gandhiji once went to London for some conference in 1931, and there one scholar said that if British would not have come, then the education system in India would not have improved. So this gave a great shock to Gandhiji's heart, and he decided to do something over this. So he knew that this was not correct. Okay, so he decided to do a great research over this, and he searched for a proof and evidences to make the statement wrong, prove wrong. So he found one great scholar, a stalwart known as Professor Dharmapal, who searched for the proofs due to the Gandhiji's advice. So Gandhiji advised him to do a lot of research and find the figures, correct figures about the education system which was prevailing in India. So this Professor Dharmapal did a lot of research. He went to several countries, including London, France, Germany. He did 40 years of hard work to know the truth about this particular context. And what he found out was really astonishing. He has written a book. If you just Google it once, you will find it. The book written by him is The Beautiful Tree. Okay, so what he says in that, he says that every village in India had pathashalas wherein reading and writing was there. There were dedicated teachers. Super methods of learning were being used by all those teachers. And you will be amazed to note that what he says here, Shudras were in majority who were learning in those days. Okay, so the casteism is one of the great topic, a debatable topic. We will have another session to talk about it maybe in future. But the things which are conveyed to us are not right at all. From this point only, we will be able to understand. The women were in a lot of number. The Sudras or the so-called lower caste people, they are not so. But so-called people, those who are being called so in today's era, they were in majority to learn. Okay, so why it is so? He, in conclusion, Professor Dharmapal, in conclusion, says that British wanted to do what? British wanted to impose English on India. Therefore, they came up with an act, Macaulay's Act, wherein funds were given only to their institutions only, the English institutions only. And Macaulay wanted to create a class of people in India who were Indian in blood and color, of course, but they were English in tastes and opinions. He wanted to create such a class of people so that they would follow England only, not India. And with this, they wanted to disrupt the self-confidence and the self-esteem of India. What has happened now in today's era also? We are not aware of our history. We are not aware of our traditions. We are not having any pride about our traditions. We have lost our identity. We have lost our self-confidence and self-esteem. Why to learn the history? Why to learn the proper history, I would say? Why we should know about our traditions? It is to gain back our self-confidence. It is there. Everything is there in our traditions. But we are not aware of it. Okay, so this is the case. So this thing I wanted to introduce to you because we all are not aware of the great heritage that we have. And we are just ignoring our traditions and culture, and that has become a great curse for Indians as such. So you see the different nations, including Australia, Africa, you take France, you take America, they take a lot of great pride in their heritage. But here in India, many among us neither have understanding nor have the pride regarding our heritage. In fact, I would say some of us even ridicule our culture, isn't it? We would find around us so many people are ridiculing it. Without understanding, without reading the scriptures, we are doing that. So it is a bad thing that we are doing. So only if we first lay a strong foundation, we can erect a tall building, or otherwise it is not possible. Similarly, if we have knowledge and pride in our forefathers, in our history, we can create a great present and a great future too. So this is the thing I wanted to convey, which is given in your first chapter. So essence of the first chapter is this, that we should not ignore our traditions and our culture. One more thing I want to add here is that Amma says that adopt good from others, but don't lose your cultural roots. Now, just now you said, when I asked you the question about was the education system better in India or not, you said yes, there are two sides of the coin. That's true. Whatever good things they must have given to us, yes, we should adopt them. There is no harm in adopting good things from them. We should do that always. But we should not lose our cultural roots. What is happening today? We are just blown away or carried away with what the Western ideology, we can say that. And in that, we are forgetting about our own culture. So we should adopt the good things from the countries, other countries, but we should remain firm. We should be remaining firmly rooted in love for our own country and the spiritual culture. So this is the basic difference, the main difference between the Western countries and India, that the spirituality is there in India only. Spirituality cannot be found, the Adhyatma cannot be found in the rest of the countries. So that differentiates us from the rest of the countries, right? So if you consider Swami Vivekananda, he had gone to Chicago, right, for a conference. So after visiting there, when he comes back, what he says, he proclaimed that even after visiting so many countries, I have never found a mother like mine. These are the words of Swami Vivekananda after traveling to so many countries. You can take example of Bhagavan Sri Rama also. When he went to Lanka, what happened? He defeated Ravana. Now Vibhishana and rest of the people who were there around Rama, they said that you should take charge of Ayodhya, Lanka now. You should be the king of Lanka, this golden Lanka. What Rama said at that point? Does anyone know?
That he cannot go to the city.
I didn't get you. Please repeat. I should not take this city. That way he said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Rama said the words he said were Api Swarnamayi Lanka Name Lakshmana Rochate Janani Janma Bhumishcha Swargadapi Garihasi. Which means, O Lakshmana, even though Lanka is a golden land, it does not appeal to me. One's mother and motherland are greater than heaven itself. Janani Janma Bhumi. Mother and the motherland are greater than the heaven itself. Swargadapi Gariyasi. They are greater than the heaven. Right? So this is the legacy or the tradition found in India actually, that we should carry forward through our present to the future, to the next generations. Right? So we should stick to our roots. We should take knowledge from all the parts of the countries, like rest of the world, but we should remember that our birth mother's rice is tastier than our stepmother's sweet pudding, isn't it? So this is the point that I wanted to convey in today's class. If anyone wants to comment over this, 2 minutes more are there for our class. You can tell if there are any questions or to comment over this. Please go ahead.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, is it necessary to maintain separate notes regarding cultural education?
It is better if you do that.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
you can make your own notes. That would be helpful for you to write your examinations. So you'll be having a mid-sem examination. Okay, the dates are not yet told, but mid-sem exam would be there. Then you will be given some assignments to do. All these things I will be telling you in few days. Okay, we are yet to have the meeting. I'll just convey all the things to you. Okay.
Previous papers.
Yeah. Tell me.
Previous papers.
Previous papers you want, huh? Actually, there is no need of previous papers. I can tell you what type of questions would come for examination. Don't worry. So whatever is being told here in the class, only that would come. Like depending on that only the questions would be framed. So you need not worry about that. With the due course of time, I would tell you, okay, about what type of questions would come. Don't worry. Before the exam, I will definitely tell you.
Ma'am, the syllabus will be shared right now afterwards.
Yeah, definitely. I'll share with you the syllabus. Told you, na, the evaluation pattern, the syllabus, everything I'll share with you.
Okay.
Okay. So with this, we have covered the first chapter, we can say. I actually wanted to take the reading, but it is not possible. Like every day, the time just runs, just flies away, isn't it? So maybe we will take in the coming class. You just remind me if I forget. Okay. We will take the second chapter in coming class. It's 10:20. So shall we stop here?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
madam.
Yeah. Think over the points which we discussed today and come to the next class.